So we're in the gym right now, and I wanted to tell you about a whole body vibration training. I'm going to show you one here, and then we're going to talk a little bit. So this one specifically is a whole body vibration trainer that has a constant 30 hertz, which is important in a second. So this is what's happening on a full body vibration plate. You can do things like squats. You can balance on one leg out of a squat. You can stay on here. You can just work on your balance. So try again, working on that balance. Good. And try on the opposite leg, working on balance. Good. Other things you can do with the lower extremity are you can step back and you can try your step ups. So step there. And because it is vibrating, then it's going to work on your balance. Other things you can do with this are you can try for some upper extremity. You can try a plank in this position. You can try things like push-ups on the plate. So that's another way that you can look at that. So thank you so much for that part. And we'll now move into kind of the nuts and bolts of it. So whole body vibration training, there have been a couple of recently published meta-analysis, which means that it takes a whole bunch of studies and it kind of summarizes them. And the most important one that we're going to talk about today, but I'm going to link to about 3 of them, is one that looked at 21 different studies and about 800 women. There's another one that I'm going to link to that has males and females. And the things that we talk about with the vibration training in males and females that you can extrapolate. And then I'll tell the things that are specifically about women and postmenopausal women. So one thing specifically is it looked at in women and in men that you can increase the bone density. So increasing the bone density is super important because we don't want osteopenia to then progress to osteoporosis, which can then increase your risk of fractures. We talk about that all the time with regard to the importance of maintaining your muscle mass and your bone density, because if you have a fracture, you're more likely to have an all-cause mortality. Women are more likely to have a hip fracture than men, and a certain percentage of women who have a hip fracture die within that first year of the hip fracture. So that's number 1. Number 2, muscle mass, muscle strength, and muscle power. So the bones and the muscles. That's number 1 and number 2. Let's talk about those muscles, particularly when we're doing things like a knee extension. That's when you're taking your leg and you're extending here at the leg like this, or if you're doing a leg press. So that would be in a seated position where you're pressing the plate away from you. Those people those women and men who had done more of the whole body vibration training had a significant increase in muscle strength in those 2 exercises as well as power. So that's fantastic. And it's just from standing on this plate. It could be just from standing on the plate. You don't necessarily have to do the squats. You don't necessarily have to do the standing on one leg or the step ups and step downs. But why I showed you those is because you're going to say, what am I going to do? For how long do I need to do this? We're not 100% sure of the complete protocols with this, but it's looking like at least 12 weeks of doing this. And most people say for about 15 minutes. So imagine just standing on a plate for 15 minutes. How boring would that be? Then you say, when would I do this? Well, if you are already doing your exercises, you do your cardio, you do your weight training, and then maybe that's the way you end the gym session with this. If you go to the gym, you certainly don't have to purchase one of these of your own. But to end it is then something that can just be isolated with regard to vibrating out the lower extremity. You can work on the upper extremity as I showed with the planks or with the push-ups, because not as many studies have shown the benefit of, say, increasing upper extremity strength or upper extremity bone density as with the lower. I'll keep looking for those studies and update as that becomes available. But the third thing you can look at with this whole body vibration training is balance. The balance is also crucial as we age. We want to make sure that we have the ability to catch ourselves if we step off a curb, or if we're hiking and it's uneven surface, or even walking and tripping because you stepped on your shoelace. So balance is critical, and having that core stabilization from strong abs, strong glutes, strong back, strong everything from the back of your skull all the way down to the sit muscles is critical. So it can also increase balance. So again, you probably want to do this for 15 minutes. You definitely get more benefit if you do it for greater than 12 weeks. Fit it in at the end of your session. There are different kind of things like the plate I showed you. And the other important part, when we mentioned at the beginning, is 30 hertz. More benefit, more bang for your buck if you got at least 30 hertz frequency coming up through that vibration plate. And the one I showed you that happens to be at my gym has 30 hertz. It's a constant. You can't turn it up. You can't turn it down. There are some kind of rinky-dink ones out there where you're kind of standing on a little plate and it's got a bar that comes up almost like you're on a scooter, except both feet fit on it at the same time and you're holding yourself that way. So many of those that I looked at online have well less than 30 hertz frequency. So that would not be as much bang for your buck. The other benefits that we talk about are that you can potentially lose fat. And it's not like jiggling yourself away, kind of like that old thing from the infomercials a long time ago where you put the little belt around your waist and you jiggle the fat away. But this is coming all the way up through the feet into the bones, into the system there. And so there is some data out there, and I'll link to that study that talks about increased fat loss when you use whole body vibration training. So we are going to summarize. Number 1, increase strength. Number 2, increase power. Number 3, increase bone density. Number 4, increase balance. Number 5, fat loss. Again, I will link to probably 3 of the most compelling studies that are out there right now. Thank you.
If you have knee pain and would like to learn more, I have a worksheet called 5 Things to Do Now to Reduce Your Knee Pain Within a Week. Go to www.kneeboostnow.com to download it for free. I'd love to hear from you, so please like, subscribe, and comment below so I can help you get out of your knee pain.